Welcome back to the show. Sunday Fun Day. You're going to like what we got for you. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.28 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off by 0.5%. Bitcoin, 96,200 plus. Ethereum, 2,600 plus. Tether back at the number 3 spot temporarily. XRP, $2.42 at the number 4 spot. We're up 0.4% on the 24-hour. We're still off by 11.8 on the 7-day. All right, let's get into this. The range of price between 238 and 250. We'll keep an eye on it as we move, ladies and gentlemen. Don't mess your chance. Get your tickets to XRP Las Vegas. XRPLasVegas.com. Get your tickets, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, this is going to be remarkable. New announcements are coming. You can come see all the top industry leaders, whether it's the CEO of Uphold, the CEO of Ripple, on stage, the CEO of iTrust, President of MoonPay, you name it, we got it. I can't even list them all. We'll be here for an hour, and there's more coming. Make sure you get your ticket. Right here, let's look at this. 80 million in TVL, total value locked up on the XRP Ledger DEX, driven by users in the XRP community. However, education is the key, and knowing the basics of XRPL DeFi can help you in your DeFi journey. And XRP Ledger Learning Portal is a great place to do that at learn.xrpl.org. Yeah, shout out to Vet for that. So make sure you go check it out. It's a lot of information, can gap fill for people who need it there. Definitely check that out. Now, I want to take you back to this because this is Senator Lummis calling for Bitcoin in a strategic reserve, but let her set the stage, and then I want to take you to everything we've seen in just the last few days. You tell me what's coming.
So why Bitcoin would make sense as part of our strategic reserves is that we recognize other long-term stores of value and put them in strategic reserve. We have a gold strategic reserve. We have an oil strategic reserve. I think it is fitting that Bitcoin, now that is really digital gold, be included among our reserve assets. So I'm proposing in the Bitcoin Act that we purchase roughly 200,000 Bitcoin a year just by converting money we already have into Bitcoin and hold them for 20 years. If we did that with, say, 5% of all the Bitcoin that will ever exist, which is roughly 1 million Bitcoin, we could cut our debt in half in 20 years.
So there's the play, right? And listen, I don't have a problem with that. However, what are we noticing? That recently there was an executive order signed to create a crypto council, and that crypto council will have to determine over the next 180 days whether or not they should create a strategic reserve for digital asset stockpile. That is to be determined by the crypto council and the crypto czar, David Sachs. However, we saw just a few days ago, President Trump came out and signed an executive order for a sovereign wealth fund. The sovereign wealth fund will be controlled by Howard Lutnick. And remember, Howard Lutnick's got hundreds of millions of dollars worth of position in Bitcoin. So there's a great chance that it goes in Bitcoin. The question now is did they create the sovereign wealth fund as a dual advantage? Or did they create the sovereign wealth fund because Bitcoin can go in the sovereign wealth fund, but it maybe doesn't go into the strategic reserve? And why would that be? One, they refuse to tell us who the 4 Satoshis are, and we know that they know who they are. The Department of Homeland Security interviewed them. The other part of this is that if we're going to have no cap gains on American crypto assets, then we need to know those identities so we can get to the bottom of that. The second problem here with Bitcoin is that if we're going to really put Bitcoin in a strategic reserve, we have to know the position of all our adversaries around the world. China, Russia, and others, North Korea. What do they hold? And if we put it in a strategic reserve, not only does it pump up our bags, but it would pump up the bad guys' bags. And that doesn't sound like too good of a solution to me. So it remains to be seen. But it looks like this sovereign wealth fund could be just as much a sovereign wealth fund as it is an apology to Bitcoin. We'll find out soon enough. Meanwhile, reminder, Tether equals China from Smoke Dog. Tether feeds Bitcoin bubble. Tether's value remains very sensitive to any transparency rumors. I think the concentration risk in Tether is huge. Bitcoin is not American, documented. Says here, Bloomberg investigation. First of all, Tether once counted securities issued by Chinese companies among reserves backing USD Tether. Remember, there was a huge rumor that Evergrande and that real estate collapse in China was tied to Tether as well. Now, Bloomberg investigation back in 21 said evidence was found that Tether's reserves did in fact include billions of dollars of short-term loans to Chinese companies. Tether should be unable to redeem the tokens for dollars. Confidence in crypto assets would be shaken. And then here, it is likely that Tether fed the Bitcoin bubble. Likely? Tether prints Bitcoin, or Tether prints USDT. Bitcoin goes up shortly thereafter. And then they're using Bitcoin at the same time to back the reserves of Tether that they just printed. You don't have to go to Harvard. That is a very definition of a Ponzi scheme in part. However, value remains very sensitive to any transparency and rumors to the internal assets held back to stablecoin. That's the problem here. And they've gotten pushed out of the regulation and the regulatory landscape in the EU for 27 nations. They've relocated to El Salvador. El Salvador has been forced to take Bitcoin off as money, and now it's optional and not mandatory for businesses to accept it. And they've been pushed into a $1.3 billion loan in El Salvador as well. Okay. Then we look at the problem of fraud right here in our own country. And the point being made now from Mario Nawfal and Elon Musk and everybody in between, us included, blockchain can solve all of this fraud activity, citing that the U.S. Treasury alone loses 24% of its budget to waste, fraud, and abuse. And the list goes on. Well, I can't wait till they get to the Pentagon. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. No more $50,000 toilet seats, right? Or whatever it is they're paying for it. That's the problem. And Elon Musk supports putting U.S. Treasury transactions on a blockchain for full transparency. Hey, can you guys help me out again? I'm having the toughest time with this one. I mean, who is it that works at Ripple that worked at the Treasury? Oh, that's right. Silly me. The 43rd Treasurer of the United States, Rosie Rios. That's right. That's who sits on the board there. Or Susan Friedman, head of policy over in the EU and UK. Yeah, or Craig Phillips. Yeah, that's right. He came from the Treasury too. Or Michael S. Barr. Oh, yeah. Well, I tell you, it's the damnedest thing, isn't it? I was just wondering, who they maybe, the U.S. could be considering, for that. I don't know. I don't have the answer. I'm just thinking logically, who has a connection from the Treasury to blockchain in the blockchain world? Who is that? Yeah, that's right. It's Ripple. Well, let's just look at this. Listen, as we go through this, in my tongue-in-cheek and the smart-assedness here, I'm having fun this morning because it's Sunday and I'm excited. Because I'm not watching price. What I'm watching is just the last few days I'm recapping for everybody here. Like ex-Citigroup executives are reportedly paving the way for institutions to secure direct access to XRP. Ripple CTO says XRP is on the cusp of mass adoption. Oh, we'll get there. And I think he's right. Listen to this from Ondo Finance.
And our chain expansion efforts will continue. We recently announced that OUSG is coming to the XRP ledger. And we're excited to also announce today that USDY is coming to Stellar.
Love that for us. Love that for Ondo. Yes, and I'm getting a position in Ondo just as fast as I can. There's no question. I'm doing everything I can. I know the signs. It's not financial advice. This is all just in the last few days. So you got U.S. Treasuries being backed by BlackRock's Biddle Fund, on the XRP ledger. So there's treasuries. Elon Musk, the efficiency guy, claiming we need to move all the treasuries on the blockchain so we can get rid of the waste and fraud. Meanwhile, it's happening on the XRP ledger right now. We have the connection so deep to the treasury, it's not even funny with the 43rd treasurer. Citibank's building so you can get securities off of the backed by XRP on the ledger. And then we have this. The CBOE has just filed 19B4s on behalf of Bitwise, Canary Fund for their XRP ETFs. This is getting exciting, ladies and gentlemen. March 24th or on or about that window will be the 45-day period, so we'll keep an eye out for it. And then we got this. While the Treasury connections to all of us, the call to have all treasuries put on blockchain, which we're currently doing with BlackRock. Tokenized securities on the ledger by former Citigroup people. Think of it. And now the CFTC says, you know what? We're going to do an initiation of a digital asset markets pilot program. Not just digital asset pilot program, digital asset markets pilot program, which will include Circle, Coinbase, Crypto.com, and Ripple. Write that down. That's what's going on. So now we're talking about tokenization of the entire commodities markets with digital assets markets being blended in. And you're not going to blend into tokenized crypto assets without tokenizing the oil and gold too, and the corn and wheat. Come on. We're not getting rid of the waste and fraud, the expediency, the security of these new payment rails if we don't use them. Right? I think you see what's coming. Treasuries are getting tokenized. Commodities are about to be tokenized. Right? Securities with former Citigroup people are about to be. Are we seeing this? I mean, I think DAI may have to have his youngest draw another picture if you're not seeing it. Meanwhile, look at this. Making the newspaper here. Crypto czar David Sachs, President Trump, and yes, that's Brad Garlinghouse, who I believe deserves a seat at the Crypto Council, and bring Chris Larson and bring Stuart Alderati with him. Come on in. I'd like to see others on there too. Danelle Dixon from Stellar said absolutely be on that council. Absolutely. It's always been Ripple on the XRP ledger, says XRP drops, give them a follow. Real USD and XRP, everything else is just noise. It sure is. Brad's a part of the World Economic Forum. He may be soon to be a part and have a seat on the Crypto Council, and we know he's already met and had dinner with President Trump. Come on in. This is an exciting, exciting moment. I tell you this. Ripple and Stellar were built to bypass traditional competition laws. No single company couldn't capture all segments of the market. This is true. It's why it's a multi-chain world after all. XLM for micropayments and financial inclusion. While XRP targets enterprise-level cross-border payments, different roles, same mission, revolution finance. It's absolutely true. I believe it. That's what I believe and have always believed. And here is exactly what I've believed and been saying for all these years that we've been under this lawsuit, that the catalyst to crypto is, in fact, very unsexy. It's legislation. It's regulatory clarity. Because that is going to bring mass adoption. Retail adoption is never going to happen until mass adoption on the institutional level happens first. I've said it. Don't believe me when I say it, but you might want to believe David when he says it.
I feel like we really are on the cusp of a mass institutional adoption, both of DeFi and of other blockchain technologies. I think this is also like one of the key obstacles to mass retail adoption. A lot of people in the space previously thought that retail adoption was like the big wave.
Nope.
But I think institutional adoption is a precursor. You have to connect to where people are. You have to go to where the value is. You can't build a new financial system from zero, ignoring the existing financial system where everybody's money is, where all the value is, where the real world is, trillions of dollars in value. You can't just say, oh, forget about all that. Let's just build something new over here. That doesn't work.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. And to his point, when you see the institutional level of adoption really come in mass, what else are you going to see? builders and builders and builders and builders coming to solve the problem and help them connect to the new digital on-chain economy. That's what you're going to see. That's exactly how it's worked in history past. And I don't say it because it's right, because I say it's right. I say it because history has shown us that that's right, and it's about to repeat. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'm loving where we're going. I hope you will join us in the Freedom Zone, ladies and gentlemen. We got a great one for you today. It's the USAID and all the fraud they've caught. My God. The fox has been running the hen house.
So I think this wave of
We're going in there right now. Again, not financial advice from me or anyone else. I hope you'll join us at in the Freedom Zone. Click the link underneath the video and join. We'll see you inside. Come on in. All right. Well.